morning. Thank you for joining me for today's Facebook Live. My name is Tracy Helt. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia. This weekend has been a really busy weekend for me because yesterday we had our Aussie Crafting Collective stamp camp. So we were all very busy doing Facebook Lives. More of them. Now, just you would think that after all of that I would be completely crafted out with the bundle that we used, which was decorative trees, but no, I'm not. So I have another card using the decorative trees and the same products that I was using yesterday. So let me show you the card that I've got, and then I will show you some of the cards that we made in that stamp camp. So let's just change down to my camera, or my workspace rather, switch on the light. So this is the card, and nice enough, yeah, but open it, and that's where the surprise comes in. So it's got that pop-up Christmas tree. Okay, sorry, it looks like my streaming software did something funny, but it looks like we're back, so I'm going to carry on. We've got the Season of Elegance DSP, and there's, yeah, those two are different. This one to me looks like camo, which just works absolutely beautifully with these trees. It's just a match made in heaven. Okay, so let's start with this card. Now, sincere apologies for my Imperial viewers. I don't have those measurements in Imperial, so I'm going through it in centimeters. I'm going out once I'm finished here, but as soon as I get home today, I will work out those Imperial measurements and I will put them up for you. Now, one thing about our card base metrics is it is marginally smaller than standard. Okay, so it's 29 centimeters long rather than the 29.7, and all the measurements for everything else will go up. We have a little problem. We have a big problem, but that's okay. My scoring blade likes dropping out, and it must be on my other table. Okay, we're going to make a plan. Don't worry. I could run and get it, but no, not going to do that. Okay, so we're starting off with the strip, and this is for this strip here that's doing the whole pop-up thing. So I'm going to score that at 2.5 centimeters. Let's just get that there. Okay, not as good, but it'll work. 2.5, then 14.5, 19, 20, and 24.5. And obviously I can't see where I'm scoring. Okay, and then we've got another little piece which I'm going to score at 1 centimeter on both sides. If you like scoring it along, it's at 1 and 11.5. All right, so that's all of our scoring done. And yeah, don't do that. Rather use the scorer that comes on your scoring board, because it scores much better than what I've scored here. Now, oops, these ones, that sort of little 1 centimeter gap, we want both of those popping up. And oh, I do not have nice crisp scores here, but that's going to be okay then. Got to think which way these fold. Okay, never mind. Let's get going, and I will work out which way they're folding. So what we're going to do is from my center score line here, we're going to measure 4.5 centimeters. So we're just making a little mark there at 4.5 and a little mark here at 4.5, and then taking this piece over here, I'll just throw my glue, okay. We're going to put glue on both of those little tabs, and then I'm sticking it so that my sides are against those 4.5 marks and the top and bottom fold are against the edges of the card. Okay. I don't know why. No, that looks good. It felt like my edges were peeping over, but they're not. They're fine there. Alright. Then figuring out which way I want this to fold. I want that there. That's going over there, and this one needs to fold down. Okay, so that one's going down. Those two are folding in so that that's popping up, and that one is in as well. That's going underneath, and this little bit here is going to stick against the edge. Hope that this is making sense. Sometimes things make sense in my head, but they don't do well in translation when they come out of my mouth. Alright, so that's sticking along there, and then that fold is against the edge of the card. So we're just trying to get that it's kind of centered. So right now, this is the only point where that is sticking down, okay? So trying to get that straight, nothing else is stuck over here. Now, wasn't as organized as I sometimes am, so I haven't done all my sticking yet. So you're just going to have to bear with me while I stick some of these pieces of DSP. Now, of course, you can use whichever sides of the DSP you like, but in my life, which I'm sure you know by now, sparkly is always better, so I'm using the bits with the gold. Now, just in case you're wondering, if you've noticed, yes, I have changed this slightly because sometimes you're busy cutting and you're not actually thinking. So I sort of forgot that my card is slightly smaller than usual. So when I stuck those, I cut my pieces to standard size, stuck my DSP on, and then realized, oops, I've cut it too long. So I then went and cut the edges off so that it fitted inside my card. But this time I'm making it that it's got a border all the way around. And that's the thing, when you make mistakes, you just have to figure out a way to fix them. Alright, so there we go. And the last one. I try and do my sticking before so that you don't need to watch me stick, but I was just running out of time today. Right, so now we're going to stick one piece across the top on this side. And with this DSP, it doesn't matter. It's the one which I said the green looks like camo, so it's that blotchy one. But with the red and the pretty peacock, you actually have that different pattern where it's got your gold on one side and your just dots on the other. So if you want to, just stick it that everything's going in the same direction. I didn't. When I stuck those two, I didn't notice that I'd stuck one that way and one that way. So don't know whether that's just a little bit OTT, but that was bugging me when I stuck that one down. Right, now, when we're sticking them on this side, you're not sticking them flat. Alright, so we're just putting glue on either end. Hi, Shani. Shani's busy touring Japan, having an absolutely marvelous time from the photos that she's putting up. But it just seems to be lucky that every time she's on a bus somewhere, she can sit and watch my Facebook Lives. And lucky they have Wi-Fi on the bus. And we have Rosie, who's also overseas at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Rosie, are you in Vietnam? So I'm so lucky that everybody tunes in from wherever they are just to see what I've got to say. Right, so those two, just on the ends, and we're sticking it over that piece over there. And then this is just a blank piece which I'm sticking in the middle so that you've got somewhere to write your note. But if you didn't want to, you could, I don't know, stick another Christmas tree over there, and just stick a writing panel on the back. Be careful of this piece. We don't want to stick that down. Stay out of the way, piece. All right. Now, checking which way. Okay, so I want this to fold down. All right, and what I'm going to do is, keeping that nice and flat, I'm going to put some glue on that panel, and I just went over, which we really don't want. Okay, trying to keep it all nicely lined up. Close the card. So the edge of your piece here is along your score line. Just close and let that glue grab. Alright, so if you wanted to use tear and tape you can, but for me the Tombow sticks like crazy and it gives me that little bit of movement when I need it. But see, now it's pulling up. And now we can decorate. So I decided to use a matte this time around. I don't often have that extra colour peeping out, but it needed it with the red. I didn't want the cherry cobbler straight onto the cherry cobbler, so I figured, seeing that I'd done it on that one, I would do it on this one as well. And there we go. Sometimes when you've got a fun fold, you absolutely love the fold, and then you sit and look at it and go, okay, this is great, now how do I decorate it? Sometimes the decorating is the hardest part. And looking at this one, I actually think that I'm going to change it around, because I maybe would have preferred if I'd stuck it the other way around, because I want my tree stuck over this bit that's not as gold. Okay, that's going on to dimensionals. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, it seems like my dimensionals are playing better with me these days. They seem to be sticking around. But it now seems like my sentiments are the ones that disappear, because I'm just looking and it doesn't look like my sentiment came, and I did emboss it and had it all ready to go, and now looking around here I'm not seeing my sentiment. But alright, that's okay. We should all know by now there always has to be something that happens in my lives. I cannot have it running completely smoothly where everything is where it's supposed to be. Just double checking here, but no. Alright, so we had a sentiment on a strip, and all you're going to do is flag the one end and then stick it underneath your Christmas tree that it's sticking out that way. And then for our second tree, obviously here I cut the tree and I've stuck the layer over. It's use adhesive sheet behind these layers because it makes it a lot easier. This one I've put the, like, I don't even know what you call it, it's like bare bones of the tree poking out there. And I did decide afterwards that it needs some baubles, so I have got some baubles cut out here that we can just stick a few of them onto our tree. I'll go stick them onto the red one afterwards. So we'll have partly finished cards. Okay, my red one will have the sentiment and the early espresso one will have the baubles. I don't know. You know, we all have our thing, and my thing is it doesn't matter how many times I check, there is always something that will not be here when I start doing my live. Alright, so maybe we'll just do 3 baubles. I don't want to over bauble it. Okay, and now we're going to just put some glue on that 1 centimeter bit over there and stick your tree onto that. So again, just see if you've maybe got it straight, which I don't know, my eye's not seeing it all straight today, but that's okay. Okay, that I need to move this tree down because when I close it, it's going to be poking over the edge. Okay, so you need to just check that you don't want it poking out when your card is closed. There we go. And when you open it up, my very crooked tree is saying hello. Okay, so looks a little bit difficult, but it's actually really easy. And I'll get my sentiment added and add a photo of the completed card. And just because I've got them here, I think that we want some embellishments as well. I'll put one down here. I'll see if I move them once I've got my my sentiment on. But this one also needs embellishments. I also want embellishments. Right, there we go. Okay, so now let me show you some of the cards that we made at the stamp camp yesterday. And once again, things have disappeared on me, so I don't have 2 of the cards, but what we do is we each do 3 different projects, and at the stamp camp you get the tutorials and demonstrations and everything to go with it. So I'll quickly show you the cards. So these are mine. Okay, there was that one, there was that one, and my fun fold. Now let's just see if we can angle that fun fold that you can see it. So it was that one with that on the back. You've seen those, they've been posted on my Facebook group. Then the others are now, I've got 2 of Sharon's cards and 2 of Julia's cards. So that was one of Julia's, that was her other one, and her third project was a really cute Christmas tree ornament, which, like I said, is hiding away from me. And then that one's Sharon's one card, and this is her fun fold card. Okay, so it stands like that. Really nice card. And again, everything looks difficult, but it isn't. So that stamp camp is over, but if you're interested in that, I'll put the link to the registration form in the description of this video, and you can still join if you live in Melbourne. I am doing that card as an in-person class in Cup Day, so that's not on the registration form, but send me a message if you want to join that. Alright, so that's our card for today. Please go and make it, because like I said, I think it has that wow factor with that Christmas tree popping up and saying hello to you. And enjoy the rest of the day, the rest of the weekend, and I will be back again next week. So until then, bye.